Here today with host Jeff Luna. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing good, Tony. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. One of the things I'm trying to do with these interviews is illustrate the different ways coaches wind up where they are. So if you don't mind, take us through your coaching history.
Yes, sir. Well, first off, I graduated back in 1993 from Poth High School, so this is kind of home to me. But I got started in coaching. My first job was in George West. I was a junior high football coach there, and I was there for 1 year. And then I moved up to the high school in George West. Stayed there a total of 2 years. From there, I followed our head coach, Coach Jay Newberry, and we went to Port Lavaca, Calhoun, with Coach Gary Davenport, who took that program over in '01. Stayed there for 3 years. Was able to leave and go be the defensive coordinator in Huffman Hargrave High School, right outside Houston, and was there for 3 years. Came back to Floresville. Followed my head coach John Baker, who was in Huffman. Came back to Floresville with him. Was there for 10 years, the last four as the head football coach and athletic director. And then the opportunity arose that I could come back to Poth, and so 6 years ago I became the athletic director and head football coach back at my home school and my alma mater, and kind of glad to be back home.
Now, from the outside looking into most people, a coach coaches kids, but a major part of what offensive coordinator or a defense coordinator or a head coach or athletic director is coaching the coaches to coach kids and coaching the coaches to get them ready for whatever's next in their career. So, yeah, talk a little bit about that role of coach as mentor.
Yeah. I grew up in the coaching profession as a defensive coach. So I was a defense coordinator, secondary coach, became defense coordinator. When I was in Floresville, I kind of switched from defense coordinator to offense coordinator, and then became the head coach. So I got experience in both sides of the ball as far as being a coordinator. Been a junior high coach, have also coached girls and boys golf and track and some different avenues where I've dealt with both genders. So I feel like I got a really good grasp on what it takes to be a successful coach, and not just in football, but in other sports, and now as an athletic director. So my job as an athletic director is to mentor these guys with my past experiences and provide them the opportunities that they got and that they need to become successful head coaches and coordinators and hopefully eventually athletic directors. My philosophy in hiring coaches is I want to hire coaches that want to be head coaches. I don't shy away from hiring coaches that have been head coaches. I don't shy away from hiring coaches that have been coordinators. In order to put the best staff together, I feel that's important. Mentoring these guys through the Texas High School Coach Association mentorship program, different avenues for these guys to opportunity for them to become better in the profession. Our profession is not a job, it's a calling. And in order for these guys to be prepared and teach these young men and women, about character and becoming good husbands and wives and mothers and fathers, using athletics as that piece is an opportunity that we have as coaches. And, my coaches here in Poth, in Poth America, we don't pay tremendous amount of pay. So one way that we're able to attract coaches is obviously through mentorship and giving them the opportunity that, one day it's my job to prepare you to become a head coach. And, very, very fortunate in the staff that we have here. Every one of our staff members on the football side of the piece have been at least a coordinator, if not a head coach. We have our coaches outreach program we do in Poth, and the leader of that for us is Coach Jim Rackley, who I've obviously learned a tremendous amount of, not only about football, but about being a Texas high school coach and the impact it has on student athletes. So we kind of carry that over, and we kind of use that as our mentor piece as well. And just giving our coaches an opportunity to grow in the profession.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Pirates for the upcoming 2022 season. Now, you graduated one of your key pieces there in Jude George, but you have some key pieces coming back in Zane Rabb and Matthew Bunn. So talk a little bit about what you think you're going to look like on the field in 2022.
Last year was a historic run for the Poth Pirates. We hadn't been in the fourth round playoffs since 1969. To compete in the state quarterfinals and lose to obviously the state champion in Franklin was an honor and a very historic run. We did lose some very, very good football players. We lost 10 seniors who some of those guys have been playing for 4 years. We talked in off season, as we headed into the spring and started doing some of our spring drills is, every year the same question comes to me about what are we going to do? Because last year we lost two really, really good football players that went on to play college football. And, our philosophy here in Poth is we don't rebuild, we reload. Feel like we got some young kids that are ready to step into those positions and provide a spark. We will have some growing pains early because we are going to be playing a lot of young kids. Probably one of the toughest non-district schedules that I've assembled here in Poth. We're going to play Blanco, who Jamie Dixon just got that job, and very, very respectful for the job that he does. And then we play Fall City always, and then we got Shiner, and then we got Schulenburg. Very tough schedule. Hopefully our young guys will step up and be ready to compete at that level. And if they're not, after those 4 games, they'll be ready to compete in our district schedule. So, having those guys step in, Zane Robbie is going to look to replace Jude George at the quarterback position. We have Parker Stevens, who's going to be a junior, also, compete for that position. Matthew Bunn will fill in at running back. Defensively, he'll spearhead our defense. He'll be a 4-year starter at linebacker for us. Gabe Solansky was the newcomer of the year. He'll move over to safety from the corner position. Aiden DeHoyas will come back at corner for us. And, we have Owen Viatric on outside linebacker who got a lot of experience last year. Played 4 rounds deep, get you some experience with those younger guys. And I think they'll be battle tested. And, we'll be ready to hopefully look to make another district run and the playoff run once we get there.
Now, when we talk about growing up, that can be literal with 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. So, I mean, you've seen your kids in the other sports. How are they looking physically so far? Well, say in the spring, but the school year's ended this week.
Yeah, I was very, very proud of our off-season program that our kids went through. They do play at our school. Most of our kids play football. They move over to basketball, and then they move over to baseball and track. And so it's been very, very busy for those kids. But you know what? They're able also to come before and after school and put in a good weight workout. And those guys have done a tremendous job. You can kind of see the freshmen and sophomores, their bodies start to develop a little bit. Seniors and juniors, we got 3 offensive linemen coming back from our starting 5 that we feel very, very confident about. And those guys have transformed their bodies. They were sophomores getting ready to move into juniors. So the all-season program has been good for us. We talk to them consistently about, getting extra reps in, getting extra workouts in. And a big part of what we're going to go into the fall with is our summer strength conditioning program. We've had a really good turnout the last couple of years, and we look forward to the turnout this year. Want those guys to get up here and get ready and, get to kick off the 2022 football season first Monday in August. So hopefully those guys will show up this summer, and we'll be ready to rock and roll once it gets here.
All right. Well, one more question for you, Coach, before I let you go. Tell me one thing about Jeff Luna that most people don't know.
Well, back when I first got to Floresville, me and my brothers had a really, really good idea of getting into the restaurant business. And so we opened up a restaurant in our hometown of Poth. It was called Luna's Mexican Grill. And that thing was open, and I worked there when I wasn't working in football and the off season. I worked there. And I can tell you that didn't go so well. That restaurant stayed open about a year. Luckily for the Post Pirates and for myself, I'm a better football coach than I was a restaurant owner. And so not a lot of people know that, but it was fun while it lasted. I can tell you that.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for your time today, and best of luck in the upcoming 2022 season.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do for high school sports, and especially, obviously, high school football.